bullshit ass call? You don't have a fucking shot and they call it 2 for 1. Hey! Come here, come here, come here. Time!
Game stop.
So welcome to the Pro Tour 7 Series here at ASG Paintball Park. Hope you got a chance to check out the Pro Tour one-on-one. Just congratulations to Tyler Harmon, who just retains that championship belt. I'm Matty Marshall, and I'm alongside one of the legends in our sport, Ryan Greenspan here. This morning he's going to be helping me call some of these 7-man games. So 7-man is back, and we have a lot of experience playing some 7-man, so it's kind of cool to come out here to ASG. We got ourselves a perfect paintball morning, as it is a little chilly, a little cloudy, a little overcast. It is supposed to heat up this afternoon. But yeah, just your thoughts on the 7-man making its return here, HK Army bringing it back.
Yeah, man, this is really cool. I think it's what the people needed, especially right now, right? So you want to get as many people playing paintball as possible. The 7-man is just a new fun way to kind of get everybody back in and get involved. And obviously, as you know, the 7-man series, the 7-man format is very nostalgic. That was kind of what really propelled paintball. Obviously, there's so much 10-man, and 10-man's, the hype is back, and that's what's happening. But 7-man was where Huntington Beach was. 7-man was the MPPL. That was like the glory days of paintball, to be honest. And as you very well know, because we battled it out quite a bit.
Yes, we did, many times.
Over the years, and this is fun to see. It's really cool to see.
Yeah, me too. And, again, just the fact that you can only do so much. We're living in this pandemic world. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We're going to be having the 7-man battles, be going down here on the center court today, and then tomorrow we'll be finding out who's going to win this tournament. And yeah, it is awesome to see the 7-man come back. Obviously with the 10-man researchers, I can't wait to get to the ICC later on this year. That's going to be super fun. You guys have been successful there. You guys won the last one. But yeah, you guys were the best 7-man team during the time. We battled it out with you guys, and but it's just cool. 5-man, 7-man, 10-man. It's all paintball, one-on-one. So I love the fact that HK was like, hey, let's revive 7-man. Let's have a paintball event so we can have some guys come out and play. It was just so good to walk around, be walking the field out there. I love this layout that Marcella came out up with. Real dominant, powerful snake out there. Runs essentially the entire length of the field. You can see it there on your screen. And anytime you have a layout like this with the dominant snake, it's also a head-up battle once you get into that snake, and your back players can't really defend you too much. So, but again, loved watching 7-man battles. And but yeah, your thoughts on the layout here before we jump into this 7-man match?
I'm excited for this layout also. I'm glad that I didn't know that they were going to come out with a blind layout. So HK, I was talking to them yesterday, and the layout that's on the other side of the field is the one that they released. And then I just assumed that it was going to be both the same layout. And that one's pretty crazy also. There's a big brick in the back. And then when I saw this one, or when they told me they were going to release this one, it's pretty cool because no one has been able to play it. And that's kind of what it seems like, right? Because I saw a couple teams break out. And I'm making a couple notes because after this, I'm going to go down there and talk to a couple guys, help them, give them some pointers and whatnot. And as we get into this, what you'll see kind of guys don't really know how to play the field because they haven't had it, the options.
And that's what we get to find out here as the 7-man breakout begins. And it is Destiny Stealth there on the left, Narco Silver on the right. Pretty solid breakout. I was just going to, as I say, a solid breakout for both squads. Looked like Destiny losing 2 bodies here, 3 bodies now. So 2 from this snake side and 1 from that D side. So a real tough break here for Destiny Stealth, but Narco Silver, Ryan, looking pretty solid here, 7-on-4.
Yeah, and this is pretty much the home team. They got a deep roster, deep squad. I think there's 6 teams, maybe 5 probably in this event. And you know what? The big thing I want to touch on about like just not really knowing the field is it's really important to walk fields and know how to do it because a lot of teams don't know how. And that's huge, and that's also what attributed to our success in the ICC that we were talking about. And another thing that helped Dynasty back in the day be really successful is our ability to walk the field and break it down before playing it. Because for those of you guys who are not familiar with it, back in the day, you didn't get the layouts beforehand. You had to go to the field, put the time in, and we'd be playing on 5 different layouts on 5 different fields.
More sometimes.
Or more, 7, yeah, 5 to 7 different fields. So it brings that aspect of the game back too, and I think that's really important. That's something that paintball kind of lost.
Yeah, the strategy, the tactics of knowing how to walk a field and not having the privilege of being able to play a field a bunch of times. Narco's now repositioning a little bit, starting to attack and utilize this high body situation. Another body has dropped, 2 more actually here for Destiny. So it looks like there's another one. I think they only have 1 body left alive now, Ryan, and he's at the God Bunker here, which is the Dorito behind the snake, and he gets taken out. So just some off the break shots dialed in for Narcos. This is Narco Silver. and then just worked a couple of the Destiny players out of their positions and just winning some gunfights.
Yeah, it looked like they shot about 2 of them off the break, and then really quickly the Destiny guys were just getting shot out of their bunkers, you know. And that also, like I said, the hometown guys, these guys play every single weekend. Like I said, that they have a really big roster. I think they have 6 kind of 5-man teams, right? And so with that comes a lot of competition. You got Big Sexy on this team.
Yeah, congratulations to Big Sexy with his 1-on-1 victory against Han Wu yesterday.
Yeah, the Pro Tour victory. And that's the other great thing about the 7-man format is that there are plenty of bunkers on the field for everybody to play. And that was one of the big, you know, I just did the Go Sports thing, the At Home with Dynasty with Rodney Squires. I don't know if you heard that one. I don't know if it's been released yet. But, you know, that was one of the things that he said, because Rodney was one of our 7-man rostered guys. He was 10-man, then to 7-man. And as he kind of transferred out and it started becoming a faster, quicker paced match or type of game, he couldn't really keep up in the 5-man X-Balls type of format. So, you know, that's one great thing about the 10-man and the 7-man formats is that it's more encompassing.
Absolutely.
More inclusive.
We're going to be breaking this down here all day. Got Ryan Greenspan up here, but congratulations to the Narcos as they take the victory in a pretty solid one, too. And those 2 off-the-break shots and then some gunfight victories to put their first win on the board. Stick with us, though, as we will have Gummy Bears taking on Sicarios coming up next year on the center stage at the Pro Tour 7-man series. We'll be right back.
Gummy Bears! Sicarios! Sicarios! Gummy Bears! Roll it, Cheney!
Welcome back here. Gummy Bears taking on Sicarios here at the Pro Tour 7 Series at ASG Paintball Park. Matty Marshall alongside Ryan Greenspan, Legends, San Diego Dynasty. Now to jump into this match, Gummy Bears are going to be on your left, and the Sicarios are going to be on the right.
And the Gummy Bears are also another one of the home factory teams here that play out of the ASG Park. I believe they have 2 squads. Yeah, the kids are pretty good.
So we'll see how this break goes. Again, 7-man battles. This was a blind layout. People did not get to play this ahead of time. Had to show up and walk the field this morning. And on the breakout, it looks like a pretty solid break for both squads. We'll see a running referee to check out one of the Sicarios players in the back center. Looks like he's clean though, so still currently 7-on-7. And there goes a move for Sicarios over there on the D side of the field, getting into D2.
And I really like, I'm trying to figure out, so there's a kid in the Dorito 2 for the Gummy Bears over there. I believe he's about 12 years old. I think his name is Alexander. He's actually a really, or his name's Anthony. He's good. We watched him play a couple weekends ago, and he was definitely the aggressive guy and kind of getting it. He's also told me that he's going to be coming to the BKI summer camp in July, so I don't want to give him the commentator's curse right now.
Looks like both teams have a body walking off, as Gummy Bears lost one a little bit earlier here, but then also Sicarios losing a body as well, too. 6 on 6 currently, but Gummy Bear's getting into the snake. Is this the guy you're talking about?
No. It's a little kid over there with
the
with the sideshow bob hair.
Okay.
On the Dorito too, but definitely getting into the snake here. And this is important. This is one thing that I've noticed in the brief few matches that we've been watching, is no one's really utilizing this snake or doing a two-man operation on this snake side, right? So what they needed to do is he had nobody on the tape, and he needed to get down the snake and start shooting people in the back. And that's how you win these games, really.
Yeah, so when you have a snake that runs the entire length of the field, yeah, it'd probably behoove you to put a couple bodies this way and to try to get into that spot. Not the biggest gap between that God bunker, the Dorito one over here on the snake side, that entryway into the snake. It's a really tiny gap. You can shoot that gap, but
you have to have paint in the air.
Yeah, you gotta have paint in the air. It's a tiny little gap. Once you get in there, you really just have to worry about down the line as long as you stay low. You could literally crawl the length of the field.
No, that's absolutely right. And I mean, there is that wedge, right? There's that wedge that can kind of shoot down on top of you when you get into their tall tower. But for the most part, you can get into this 50 and looks like you can shoot both the Dorito guys across, or one of the Dorito guys across the field, maybe even both of them. You can shoot that big brick, the corner, that tall can. So you have a lot of shots,
Sicarios now making a big move here on the D side, gonna bunker out your boy here, Ryan, and then finally gets taken out, but not before he got his man. I think we're going to see a penalty assessed, a one-on-one. What's his name?
A 1-for-1 on Little Anthony, huh?
Yeah,
that was weird.
So Little Anthony maybe spun, but a 1-for-1 called. That's going to pull out his back player and really puts the Gummy Bears in a bad spot right now.
That was weird. It didn't seem like he tilted his gun at all. But, you never know.
Yeah, so still a body for Sicarios in the center brick. He's looking snake side. There's no one in the snake, so maybe a little bit of miscommunication. They're going to go another body.
Oh, wow. Two more bodies came. Yeah. 3 more bodies came off over here for the Sicarios.
Somebody threw a grenade from the Gummy Bears. Some people are winning some gunfights right now. Sicarios able to make a move into D3, get a little bit better position, but...
So I actually think it's 3-on-3 right now, Maddie, and all the Gummy Bears are lined up kind of here on the snake side, and the Sicarios are, oh, just lost another body, are spread across back center, God Bunker, and the Dorito 3 over there on the other side. So what the Gummy Bears need to do is they need to get in the snake or spread the field out, right, and hopefully catch this Dorito guy or this back center guy or like I said, get down the field over here. So this is still a winnable game, and another thing about it is in the 7-man format, especially if you don't know the field very well, you really need to, communication's a huge factor. Ooh, and then they get another kill, but looks like the Sicarios are behind him over on the other side of the field.
So this guy over here for the Sicarios is going to try to put his team on the back real quick, gets that kill inside, and then now he's going to get a little bit of a 2-pack potentially here.
No.
Did the other guy get the kill?
Yeah, I think he shot him, the number 7 here on the Sicarios that went down. But what I was pointing out is there's still a guy in the back center for the Sicarios, and he kind of needed to get in the game. I know he's putting some pressure there, but I think that the Gummy Bear guy, if he got into the snake, he would have had a better ability to watch that side and watch over his buddy.
Well, yeah, this was another one of those situations where with that big move happening, that 1-for-1 called, even though the Sicarios did win this game, it did get a little treacherous for them for a bit. They had a high buy situation, but I don't know if there was a penalty, and they're celebrating here coming out of the dead boxes. They're like, oh, thank God you guys won.
They're pumped.
Yeah, it wasn't going well for them. Maybe there was a penalty we missed or something, because we looked over and saw 3 bodies essentially walking off at the same time.
Yeah.
So they squandered that high body situation. It went down to a 3-on-3, and but then that big move on the D side for the Sicarios, number 7. Got that kill on the inside, and then I think that last kill, maybe he pushed him into the back player's gun. Couldn't quite tell if he got that last kill or not, but
yeah, I couldn't quite tell. But one big takeaway, and I want for everybody who's watching, and if the Gummy Bears are watching this in post kind of later on tonight to kind of figure out how to play the field. One big takeaway on this that I've seen, and I know that it's something that we always bring up, is if you guys are crossed up, right? Or if you're doing any job on the field where you feel like you're not doing anything or you cannot focus or see anything on the field, then you got to be vocal about that. So in the case that I'm talking about is we had one Gummy Bear in this wedge looking heads up and one in the God Bunker Dorito looking across the field. Well, he obviously couldn't stop the Sicarios player that just kind of casually walked all the way onto their side of the field. So you need to be vocal about that. Hey, I cannot watch over you. I can't see anything behind you. They're going to be able to make a move on you. Rather than just sitting there saying, I got you, or not saying anything at all. Because what happened is the Gummy Bear shot one of the Sicarios players over here on the snake side doing his job. And for a brief moment, it was a 2-on-2. But again, that Gummy Bear player on that Dorito behind the snake in the God bunker didn't say anything, and that ended up causing the loss right there.
Well, the communication in paintball in general, we see it in the NXL all the time, how key it is there in a 5-on-5 with the best players in the world playing. And then when the divisional players show up on Sunday, the best of the best to play on center court, see who's going to win those divisions. We always see with paintball, you have communication. Now, in the 7-man format, it's even more important.
Right.
And it's even more important when you have a blind layout that nobody got to play. Because if you've had a couple weekends to scrimmage on a layout, you kind of know at that point in time, okay, what your job is, what your teammates' job are, how the flow of the points and back and forth, and how that field is playing. But when you're playing 7-on-7 on a bigger field, more bunkers, and you do not know the layout, the communication becomes even more important.
No, that's you know, that goes without saying, and that's one of the more difficult things to even teach or practice, you know, and when you see that big gap in communication, and it even happens in the pro level from you know, on teams, all right, just it comes from figuring something out, and I always say that I'm always learning. We're always trying to figure out new ways to kind of teach, new ways to incorporate anything into our own training. And I heard one of the, well, I don't want to call it the most profound thing I've heard in paintball, but that I've heard in a long time. It came from Matt Derula at the summer camp. I think it was last year. He goes in and he goes, because we always have the guest professors jump in for the summer camp, so you have the 5 main guys. And then Derula goes, we're doing a communication drill. He goes, think fast food. How can I help you? Right? And that, it sounds so funny, but it's so trivial and so easy. And it's like, think about it though, like that is the biggest problem in communication is people not being able to say, what do you need? How can I help you?
We used to, you know, that's one of those biggest questions. A guy that's playing your position, that 2, that 3, especially in a 7-man format, ask your front players what they need. If their job is to get up the field, what do they need to accomplish that goal?
100%.
What guy needs to get put in? Who needs to die? So starting this next 7-man battle here between Narcos Gold and Addicts PB Black. Addicts on the right, they lose, what, 3 bodies? Oh my God, that's a terrible break for the Addicts and a great break for the Narcos.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anybody's walk off. It's a 4-on-7 currently, and the Narcos just literally stand up and walk into Snake One.
Yeah, I mean, and there's 2 guys looking Snake way, but I'm telling you, the Narcos guys, I've been working with these guys for a long time. Oz is the captain, the guy who kind of handles everything, and there's 2 guys left here on the Addicts Black. Left, 7-on-2.
Trying to keep us on schedule a little bit here at Narcos.
Thank you, Narcos. But no, they have a really good camp. Like I said, a huge depth out there, and that is going to really help with learning and getting everything down because everybody's on the same page. So they make quick work of the Addicts, and it seems like they played the field a little, not just from getting the 3 kills off the break, but even just their breakout in general. They took some ground on both sides of the field. They did a quick delay. They had 2 guys immediately out on the Snake side, and just overpowering the other guys. Yeah,
and in this blowout victory here for the Narcos Gold, everything worked for them. Obviously, it's going to help if you shoot 3 bodies on the break and it's a 7-on-4, but what happened in this match as opposed to what happened in the other one when that other team had a high body situation, they squandered it quickly. Narcos Gold was able to get into some really good spots and just start working those angles, and it was just another body coming off for Addicts and another one getting peeled off, and that's the quickest game we've seen out here so far. Yeah, like you said, getting it on schedule. And I think that was that the first game that was won from this left side? Second. Squad 1 also? Squad 1 as well. Okay. So, but I was thinking the same thing. And we haven't had a ton of games out here, just getting things going. But that is something to keep in mind. Oh, absolutely. Because guys are going to be going, if you get the screen left is home, screen right is away. And so everyone kind of knows what side they're going to be playing here already when they come out to play this one. And you know, you're going to be right-hand dominant coming from this left-hand side and left-hand dominant. And in the divisional ranks, sure, everyone's going to be ambidextrous a little bit, but typically guys are still a little bit better with their dominant hand. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, though, when you have BC on your team, left-handed, that's always having a left-handed guy. Out there, yeah, it really is. It's like having a left-handed pitcher in your bullpen, right? It's like it gives you this little bit of an advantage in some aspects, right? Yosh Rao can shoot his gun faster left-handed than he can right-handed, which is another thing that in 7-man uncapped semi-auto is a huge advantage. Huge advantage. Yeah, the rules, that's another interesting thing about 7-man. I'm glad you brought that up. It is semi-uncapped out here. There's 1-for-1s and 2-for-1s on the penalties. 7-minute games. You get 3 points for a kill, 1 point for live bodies, 32 for a pole, and 40 for a hang. Yeah, and I love that scoring system.
And that's something really got to take in, because it makes the math towards the end of the day so important. Like, we need X amount of bodies in order to move forward. And we were talking about that with Alex Ferreira. Maybe I was on Marcelo's Play the Game podcast. It was like, I broke down how we won Spider Cup. We won Mustangs because we needed to shoot 2 strange guys
in the rain too,
and get the flagpole. And I remember so vividly Alex Fragi sprinting up to that center 50 roly-poly can, and he grabbed the flag, and then not but a second later, you see another hand coming over the top, because they knew they needed to stop us from getting the flagpole, and they win cars. And that's how it's going to come down to it at the end. It's like, we need a couple bodies, and 10-man is even more so
of doing the math. Yeah, and I mean, if you look at the ICPL that we were at Chicago last year, Infamous lost in the finals because they thought they had 1 kill that they didn't have. So you had Lasoya was the only, and it ended up being this crazy stalemate on a Woods ball field where I think it was like 9-8 as far as the body count at the end. But Infamous had done the math wrong, and so they ended up, and so that gave Adrenaline the win.
Well, that's actually funny you say that, because the same thing happened this year or last year in Florida with it wasn't the Dynasty team, it was the Cap Factory team.
Yeah.
And Infamous.
They didn't lose a game, and they still lost the tournament.
Yep. Didn't lose a game, still lost the tournament, and it came down to 1 body or something like that. And it's just knowing the scenario, knowing the situation, and really kind of making sure that that's the case. So if you need a couple of bodies, or you need to stay alive a little bit longer, there's all sorts of factors that come into play in that, and it's interesting.
It adds another level of depth to the game, and that's why one of the reasons I fell in love with 10-man back in the day was its intricacies, and then when we went to 7-man, it still existed there, and it's back again. So it is cool again. Props to HK for having this local 7-man event. We did have some people drive quite a bit. I think there was people from Chicago that are out here.
Some guys flew in from Chicago, right? And again, with the format, one thing that I want to point out as far as uncapped semi-auto is something that you don't need high rates of fire any longer, but unless you're playing something like this. And it's very relevant, because some of the loaders and some of the guns have been slowed down for efficiency, to keep wear and tear down off of the gears and off the products. And so some of the guns, losing 1 body here on the left for free parking.
Yeah, free parking on the left, squad on the right.
Yeah.
7 on 6 currently here. A little bit of an advantage right now for squad.
Yeah, so the gun choice that you have out here does have a play a factor of that. And I see that a little bit when I go over to Australia, or when I did go to Australia, at 15 balls a second, right?
Yeah, before the pandemic.
Before the pandemic. I had 2 canceled flights already, so I guess I'm just I've got credits. I've got a lot of credits, so if you want me to come out, I got some credits.
Yeah, hit up Ryan. We'll teach you a clinic. We'll play for your team.
Yeah,
whatever.
Do it all.
So looks like a body getting checked out here on the right for squad. He's alive, so it's still 7 on 6 here. A little tiny high body situation for squad. Made a couple moves, or D1, D2. No one in the snake yet for either team. And Ryan, if you're just joining us, thank you so much for joining us. We're gonna have this 7-man battles going on all weekend. But this snake is dominant if you get in here, but we haven't really seen this snake teams flooding bodies towards it.
And I'm not down on the field, so maybe I'm missing something. But for the first couple of matches, they didn't even really have anybody in the snake corner at all. And I don't know, this lane from the tower, the back center tower seems to have a really good lane. Ooh, a bomb just went off. It looks like a penalty has been assessed.
For squad.
Squad walking. The whole squad's walking off right now. That's what, that's when your name bites you in the butt there. Let's squad up and head to the dead box right now with 4 bodies just walking off all at the same time. 5th body now, so it's when the advantage was for the squad, it's now a 2 on 5.
If you're free parking,
yeah,
and you look up and see 4 enemies walk away, you're like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Okay, we're fine, guys. Let's just close this one out. So now they're getting the snake. They're making moves down the field to flood another body here towards the snake side. Snake player right now for free parking is in good position here at the 50-yard line, just trying to clean this one up, find these last couple bodies. There's a player at the back can towards the D side. He's going to try to make a move out, and he makes it clean.
And I love what he just did, right? This is great. He's making these moves across the field, and he's plugging the hole. It's a last-ditch effort.
Yeah, last-ditch effort for sure. They're going to be pulling that player out. The player in the snake here for free parking also comes out, but not before the damage is done. So though they did squander 3 of those bodies. So like we were talking about with this rule set, you get points for live bodies, and right now we're early on in the prelims. It's not going to be as big of a deal. However, you don't want to be sitting there starting to look at the numbers, wondering if you're going to move on in this tournament, and you get knocked out by a point or two when you squandered a couple bodies in one of these games where you should have been able to play a little bit more cohesive on that close and keep those bodies alive.
Yeah, and I mean, this is another big takeaway for this on playing a blind layout that you don't know. If you're up bodies so much and you're really in control, keep that control and try to slow the game down. You know, everybody has their own call. Like, we'll yell Dynasty. It's kind of a control call. Everybody story time. Everybody has this type of call, or should have this type of call.
Yeah, you need to have that.
Yeah, that will really just kind of get everybody grounded so you're not running for glory. You're going for the kill or whatever it might be.
It's as soon as you hear that, you hear story time, you know, okay, look, I need to pump my brakes a little bit. Let's really dig in here, get that communication flowing back and forth across the field and find those last bodies, and then get a nice, good, clean close.
Yep, so and here's what they do is they all check in the middle of the field, and just to get kind of checked out. And, you know, another thing is when you are down on bodies and you're trying to fight back from a very difficult 2-on-5, you can't just get dinked down the tape as that squad player did. He kind of just didn't even think there was a guy in the snake or something. I don't really know what his plan was there. But
he probably looked over and saw his 4 teammates walk off.
Yeah, but that's
okay. I need to kill 3 dudes right now.
Well, he kind of just was sloppy, kind of like laying out the side. So again, what I'm getting at is just you really got to hunker down and try to get some kills, or go on the offense like his other buddy was doing over there and plugging the hole in the Dorito 1.
Well, look. Sometimes the best defense is a strong offense,
for sure.
And when you are in a low body situation, especially on a big 7-man field like this, it can be very beneficial to start an attack, because a lot of times your opponents aren't thinking you're going to attack them. They think you're going to just cross it up and try to play as tight as possible and look, you know, in front of each other. We call that the you know, crossing it up means when you have a few bodies left alive. Let's say Ryan and I were both alive when we're in, you know, different corners. I'm going to look in front of Ryan. Ryan's going to look in front of me. You're creating a cross with your guns, and you're trying to control those zones. But breaking the cross and playing offensive from those defensive spots, a lot of times is how you can win low body situations.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. You know, and especially, you know, you get that. That's why we do the classic 3-on-5 drills. You know, it's because what happens is a lot of players tend to get you know, a little overconfident, and that's also why we have this slow down call, is because it's like, oh, I can afford to take a little bit more of a risk because, you know, we just shot 2 guys. And so I'm going to make kind of a bigger move because we still have 4 dudes left, and it'll be if I risk myself, I could win it, but if I die, it's still going to be a 4-on-2. We can win that. And then Maddie's over there thinking, I'm going to take a little bit more of a risk because I know that we still got 4 more guys if I make a mistake. And next thing you know, you have 3 or 4 guys that are all trying to make a bigger move to win the game. And then you lose those 2 bodies.
And that's selfish paintball. Absolutely right. You do not want to do that. Jumping into this next battle here, SenCal Alliance taking on OGP. OGP on your right, Alliance on the left. Let's see on the breakout. Pretty big break here for Alliance as they take a ton of ground in the center and get to the wedge. That's one of the more aggressive moves we've seen off the break from any of these teams out here.
And OGP did 3 guys in the back center plus this laydown wedge, all shooting snakeway, and didn't manage to get a kill at all, and also don't have ground over here on the snake side. But you see OGP also mirroring up in the center, and Alliance losing their first body out of that snake corner.
Yeah, they're going to dive into the snake though. So Alliance has snake 1. That wedge move has been mirrored up by OGP, so both teams have a body in that wedge. They're both looking snake side. But yeah, it is now a 6-on-7 situation. Now it's going to be a 6-on-6 situation, as it looks like OGP is going to be losing that player from the wedge, and they're going to be losing a body out of D1. So 5-on-6 currently here.
And it looks like this snake side, these Alliance guys are putting more pressure on the snake side, which I like to see, but we need to get him down the snake, and that's something that, you know, a lot of people struggle with, I think, in paintball in general, is just kind of crawling down there and instead of battling from snake 1.
Yeah, he could have hit the deck and crawled up here, Ryan, and been easily at the 50 or past. It could have been past it. No one's stopping him. He has a back player with him too.
Yep, and so what the OGP guys are struggling with is just being on the snake side at all, well, staying alive in any of their spots. They're all just up in the back center. Ooh, and a 1-for-1 assessed on the back center player for OGP, walking off the field right now.
So in real good position currently with the Alliance. Snake 1, Snake 2. Only, it looks like 2 or 3 bodies left alive for OGP. They're in a bad spot here, Ryan.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. It is, what is a 2-4-6-on-2? Yeah, and this is actually, well, this is where the Gummy Bears were that one time also, but now it's a 6-on-1. Last player's in the wedge, kind of trying to figure out which way he should look. But Central Alliance guy here in the Snake is having some gun issues. He's breaking a ton of paint, dripping out of his barrel right now, and he's kind of isn't even up right now. But there we go. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, as long as he stays alive, and that was kind of what we were talking about too. So having some serious gun issues here.
Yeah, he got into Snake 1, started having problems with his gun. This player leapfrogged him, but like you said, didn't really matter as the damage had been done for OGP. And that penalty in the center really cost him. And just need to increase that survivability here. But pretty solid game for Sencal Alliance. They lost that first body, but after that clocked in, and it looks like Ryan's 6 players alive for them. So it doesn't get much better than that. Get the pull, get the hang, keep those 6 bodies alive. So the only body they're gonna, the only points they're gonna drop is just that one.
Just
death.
that one. 99 right there.
Yeah, that's
what, 99.
those are what you want to see on the scoreboard.
Yeah.
Oh, do we have an OG whiteboard over here? I didn't know.
Yeah.
I always like seeing those little throwbacks.
Oh yeah, I forgot about those. They have them in the NXL Europe, the Millennium Series, but it was really big on that. Just a massive whiteboard with all the scores and the B and the A group and all this stuff. Yeah, that is funny.
Yeah, it's like it's one of Tim's passion projects is having to create a 72 team huge whiteboard where you can kind of go and look at that giant thing, and and you're hoping to look up there and, like Ryan said, see a lot of those 99s, 97s.
Yeah.
You definitely don't want to be looking at it and see 15s, you know, 3s.
Yeah, well, no, it's funny too because you'll be like, all right, let's see, all right, Infamous, okay, oh man, 99, 90, oh, they got a 17, hell yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like, I don't know, it's something about when you see it on a digital board, it's kind of harder to see, and you're kind of like not really into it.
It's not as cool.
Not
if
as cool.
If it's like a 6 foot tall whiteboard, yeah, that's way better. And again, thank you guys so much for joining us here at ASG Paintball Park in Paris, California for the Pro Tour 7 Series. HK Emery putting this together, and hope you guys have got a chance to watch the one-on-one battles yesterday. It is basically the summer of one-on-ones as you know, HK brought the Pro Tour back. You can go check out the previous matches on YouTube. Also, please head on over to Go Sports. You're going to be able to watch the rest of this tournament here this afternoon. Also, you know, we got some Ultimate Shootouts coming up here the 22nd. There's going to be the semifinal match. Peter Nino's taking on Jesse Stevens. But at least I just really like that everyone's trying to go above and beyond, Ryan, here to bring paintball back in whatever way we can.
Yeah, and that was a big part of that whole paintball strong movement, and it's really important that that we keep everybody engaged and really wanting to play paintball and keep it in the forefront of our minds. But it's very you know, prevalent that paintball is as strong as it ever was, really.
Hey, we're all in this together, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody's still playing, everybody's having a great time, and
so Narco Silver taking on LA Vibe on the left, Narco Silver on the left, and Vibe on the right. Couple, is it one body coming off right now for Narcos? Yeah, so just one. I didn't see anybody die. Now a body's going to come off 6-on-6 currently here in the 7-man fight. We haven't seen any games even come close to going to time yet.
No, and that's good. Now I wonder what the other field's looking like right now too. One of us take a break. We'll try to check it out and kind of check back in here.
Well, we're going to know how the other field's going if we start having delays.
That's true.
To get teams out here.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. And how many teams are registered out here, do you know? I think it was like 20s, in the 20s?
I think it might be 30 or 32.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't get the final count, but it was looking right around that 30 mark.
Yeah, and you know, another thing, if you see the depth of the roster of the Narcos teams, you've got the gold, the black, the blue, you've got the silver, you've got
they have a straight army out here.
Right,
they have a brigade,
which also is kind of good for them, is, you know, you can engage the slingshot if needed. You know.
Hey, bros, I'm gonna need you to drop this thing.
Yeah.
We need to get our big team in. Oh, look at this though. It's a body trying to get into the snake, and look at this, the nice zone control. There goes that body there on your screen, dropping out of Snake 1. So he kind of just dove out a little bit too much, and then it ended up getting stitched down the line. This is a battleground snake. You're going to be fighting with your opponent heads up down that line. Your back players can't help you a ton. He does have to come out a little bit farther. It's not a perfect line, straight up lined up gunfight for that back player, and the Dorito is in set. So you know, you really have to get in here and protect yourself. That's why when I looked at this layout, you know, this is Marcelo Margot's layout that he put together, and I like the fact that we have a potentially dominant snake, but we really haven't seen, Ryan, still anybody flood multiple bodies this way and really play aggressive. Right,
and what it looks like to me, Maddie, just from everybody's view when they just saw that guy on the LA Vibe team slide into that Snake 1 kind of wide, and you saw that his corner player was really wide out of the corner. you basically need to get 2 guys in that snake.
I totally agree with you. I think 2 is the way to go, and then slingshot that other guy out, maybe get that 3rd body out wide, because wide is where the gunfights are going to be happening. You do have to worry about, there are a lot of angles. We talked about those as things progress from the center and from the D side, but we haven't really seen much aggression from any of these teams really on that D side taking any ground. In the center as well, a few guys have been getting to the brick and trying to shut things down from there. Same with the wedge, but it hasn't been that relevant. Now we see another gunfight's a bad death here out of Snake 2.
And Vibe taking a big bite on the Snake side all the way into the Snake 50, and that's what's going to win this game all the way to their side of the field. But there is a player for the Narcos who just got shot out behind in the God bunker, and it is 3-on-3, I think, right now.
This is what we want to see, though, Ryan.
Boom.
Yeah, hit
That's
the
a
deck,
kill.
get free kills. We've been talking about this. Look, no one's looking at his way. This guy's going to single-handedly win this game. Gets another kill cross field, and then finally that body tries to do something and put a lane over here, but too little, too late, as Vibe is going to be taking the victory because of a dominant push here from this player.
And that's what you said. That's what you said, and that's what you asked for. Said, let's see someone get down the Snake and win a game. Like, let's see a dominant play on the Snake side, and there it goes. Boom.
Had a nice dive, too. It looked like he attended a Ryan Greenspan diving clinic there.
Yeah, left-handed, diving into that Snake. I think he may have. You know, at least he might have watched some videos online, maybe a BKI subscription. Who knows?
So, beautiful job by Vibe. How was the summer camp? I mean, you guys are doing it. Was it full up?
Yeah, so it's actually, I think 2 more spots just opened up, so it's actually pretty crazy. The thing is sold out about 5 different times because there were some international players traveling that couldn't come any longer. A couple of people from Canada couldn't come, couldn't attend. So Anthony had told me it's sold out about 5 different times, but I believe just recently 2 people just had to back out again. But the summer camp is on. Yeah. Phase 2 or 3 will be in Boston or in the Massachusetts area. They'll be operating on phase 3. They said summer camps are essential, probably to, get the kids out of the house. It's really important, to allow the parents to even have a little bit of sanity.
Well, the good thing about paintball is that you can play this game and maintain social distance. It's played outdoors. Yeah. And a lot of the new stuff that's been coming out about COVID-19 is it doesn't appear to be, when you're outdoors and you have the breeze blowing, that's not really how it can happen that way, but it's very rare. Being indoors, being with a person who has, who's positive for it, and being close to them for a long period of time, that appears that is how you're getting it. So, the fact, this isn't jiu-jitsu, man. I love jiu-jitsu, and that's an amazing thing. So once you can do that, if you have never done that, definitely, roll around. That's a big test for you. Paintball is a different type of test, but this is a sport that that I believe that we can play safely with this pandemic.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that. And I'm a proponent of opening windows and being outdoors in general. I think that's how any cold, flu, bacteria, virus, that's how that stuff even spreads anyways. You close all the windows and doors. As a matter of fact, the common misconception that the cold is you catch a cold from the actual temperature of the air is actually completely false. You catch a cold because it generally happens in the wintertime when you shut all the doors and windows and turn the heat up, which, as everybody should know, breeds and multiplies, bacteria, cells, viruses, that's where they breed in. So the common misconception of the temperature actually having an effect on your body's ability to catch or deter. So I'm always a big proponent of being outside, open windows, open doors, turn the AC on, and keep the windows and doors open.
Yeah, for sure. And again, thank you guys so much for joining us here, and please help us out. Our ability to bring you guys amazing paintball content is completely contingent on how much we support, or how much support we get from the subscribers and from the paintball world. So head on over to gosports.com, get a subscription, and we got a ton of paintball coming at you here this summer. So throwing 7 minutes on the clock, and now it's going to be Destiny Stealth taking on Narcos Black.
Whoa. And it looks like Destiny Stealth taking the walk. 2 players off the Snake side, both walking off the field. So a great breakout for the Narcos. Oh, and a 3rd body walking off the field, and a 4th body walking off the field for Destiny. And a 1-for-1.
Jesus.
Ouch.
This is another game that's going to keep us on schedule here. Bloodbath for Destiny to start things out. Pretty much almost the entire squad is walking off at the beginning of this match. Everyone's going and dropping their guns down and having to walk to the dead box. So what a great job here by Narcos Black with those off-the-break shots. Yeah, they're going to finish this one out real quick. Here's another one of the quickest games that we have seen on the main stage.
Yeah, and they're kind of like doing it a little cautiously, like, where are these extra bodies? I don't really know.
This is smart, though. You wanna
it is.
carefully.
Well, that's the thing is when a bomb goes off on any, whether it's 5-man, 10-man, 7-man, doesn't really matter. When a bomb goes off, essentially, and a bunch of bodies walk off, it's really hard to track those bodies. So,
yeah, and it's, when it happens that fast, and that's when you see guys just starting to go and clear the field real carefully because they don't want to step on a landmine. Yeah, that's a rough break here for Destiny. That's one you're going to want back.
Yeah. Again, a bomb. So that was this. That was Destiny's second loss right there.
Yeah, they played Narcos Silver and dropped that game earlier here.
Yep.
Yeah, these are just, we don't know what's happening on the other field, so I can't give you the information of who's winning those games. But next up is going to be Addicts PB Black and then Narcos Blue. But so you're saying still a couple spots. Where do people go for information about the summer camp?
Yeah, you can go to the BKI Pro Paintball Summer Camp, or actually I believe it's propaintballsummercamp.com. We'll have some information on there if you just Google BKI Summer Camp. So I think I'm pretty sure there's 2 spots still available right now that just opened up. You might miss the. You might not be able to get your name on the back of the jersey because you do get a ton of stuff. So the summer camp, it's all inclusive. You get 5 world champions, which I think is really cool. That we didn't really advertise a whole lot, but myself, Kyle Spica, Marcelo Margot, Nick Sloviak, and Nick Laval, all world champions, all coaches for the whole 5 days, and then every day you get another 2 guest professors, as we're calling them. Derulo will be there, Brett Messer, you got Pat Kraft Jr. will be out there. So you get a lot of experience and a lot of different looks on different fields. We usually have 3 fields running, maybe 3 fields that are running. You know, it's capped at 40 players, and then it's all inclusive. All the paint you can shoot. We provide all the pods, all the food. It's like gourmet, some of the best food. As a matter of fact, I look forward to it, not just because it's such a fun event, but the food there is just outstanding. You got Michael Carmen, who's the chef, the executive chef. And then one thing we are changing up from last year, or the last 2 years, just because of how the other activities are going to go, is there's usually an experience, like an outdoor experience that we do each time. We went to a Red Sox game one year. Last year we did one of those duck tour boats that you go around and float around on the Boston Harbor and drive through the city, and they tell you all that stuff. So I don't know if those things are actually going to be happening this year, but we might talk to Anthony. I said, what about just chartering a boat? So we might charter a boat and go through the Boston Harbor with just our group.
Well, it looks like you're going to have to read up on your Boston history, and then we can have a little Ryan Greenspan history lesson.
Well, actually, I think that the history of Boston is pretty fantastic, to be honest. There's a lot of stuff that I learned last time, how Boston was actually just built. They had, they were like 24/7, actually 6 days a week, because they didn't do it on Sunday, but they were just transporting dirt and just constantly building a larger railroad, just kind of filling in the whole harbor in order to create land.
Yeah, when you look at, there's certain museums you can go to in Boston where it will show you what the land looked like in the mid-1700s and then what it looked like 100 years later and then in the modern times, and it is fascinating how that city was constructed. So no, it's just a great experience. I love what you guys have done with BKI in general. Again, I don't get paid for BKI, but I just love to pump it up because I just think it's such an important thing. I really wish that existed when I was a kid coming up and had a chance to go do that when I was 15 years old.
I know it. I mean, there's so many things, like just the access to online training in any sport, any aspect. I'm sure that, I know you play a lot of golf. I'm sure that you've looked online and seen, like, okay,
tons.
This can, exactly. This can help fix my, whatever it is. And I'm sure a lot of people who are listening and tuning in right now have used the internet to learn something in one way or another. And so paintball should be no different. And what it is it's not necessarily like, oh, well, what am I going to learn? I might not even get any better, which I feel is a negative way of looking at it. But if what we teach you, and this is the same goes for when I teach a clinic, if what I can teach you allows you to go out and shoot 1 more person, 2 more people in a day, that's that much more fun that you're going to be having. It's going to build your confidence. You're going to have more fun and play more paintball as a result of your ability to understand and go through these motions and be able to utilize it, whether you're playing in tournaments or not.
I totally agree. I mean, I remember when I did some jiu-jitsu and got to train with, guys that were really high level. I mean, just being able to spend 20 minutes with that guy.
Yeah.
Whatever it costs you is so crucial to building your skills. And then golf, same thing there. Just taking, obviously watched a ton of videos online trying to fix my swings. I didn't want to suck at golf. I don't want to suck at anything because I'm old and broken now, so I can't really do as much as I got to do when I was younger. But just taking that one lesson and having just a little adjustment to my grip was worth 10 times the money I played, because now I have so much more fun when I go participate in activity. So yeah, paintball, are you kidding me? Back when I was a kid, I would have paid a ton of money to be able to have some lesson from the guys that were the best at it at the time.
Yeah, and I mean, you learn at an exponential rate, right? So maybe going to the field 10 times, it'll take you 10 times to actually understand what you're doing wrong, whereas you come to one of our clinics or you subscribe to the online training course, you learn that right then and there, and then you understand how to break that. So like you said, you know, just one lesson was like you going to the driving range possibly for
2 years.
Yeah, and I mean, it could even translate to saved golf balls in Tecolote Canyon.
Yeah, or winning money from your buddies.
Exactly, there you go. It pays for itself. It could obviously pay for itself. And even more, and one thing that we haven't really promoted a whole lot, but which I mean, this is one of my favorite fun facts of BKI is there are 4 pros currently playing in the NXL who have been or are still currently members of BKI. You know, so the motto, Grayson, I don't know if Grayson coined it back in the day, but turning players into pros. And that is what we're doing, and that's what that's what our mantra is, really, you know.
I think it's great for the sport, and then because, you know, paintball is not a cheap thing to play, man. You've got to buy it. It's gear dependent. You got to buy all this gear. You always want to have the new freshest gun and all this new stuff. But so you're spending a lot of money to travel and play it. It's a lot. You have so much more fun when you're good at it. It's so
and that's it. That's kind of what I was saying, is you just have so much more fun when you're out there shooting, because that's what we're here to do, right? We're here to shoot people and have fun. So whether you play on the recreational side or you're trying to win a tournament or you're trying to go pro, that's what it is. It builds that confidence, and it allows you to have way more fun because you're like, oh, now my elbow's tucked in a little bit more better, a little bit tighter. Or this is what the aspect is that needed to be changed in my game, which allows me now to shoot more people and be a bigger asset for my team or my friends or whoever it is, you know. So I can't say enough good things about just any kind of training at all.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. So sign up for BKI. Thank you guys so much for joining us here. And again, please head on over to gosports.com as you know, we're going to be having the rest of these 7-man battles here on center stage as we progress through this 7-man tournament, figure out who's going to take the victory tomorrow afternoon. Looks like we are waiting for a team, so we're going to take a short break here. We'll be right back here at this amazing match or amazing tournament that's going down here at ASG Paintball Park. I'm Matty Marshall with Ryan Greenspan. We'll be right back.
Seconds.
Hey, is that a live block?
Warning, live field, goggles on.
Seconds.
All right, we are back here, about to jump into this next match. And it is going to be Addicts PB Black on the left, Narcos Blue on the right.
Narcos Blue having a really bad breakout because they were not at the gate. They weren't set up. You know, and that's actually really funny that just happened. I mean, it's unfortunate as they had to pull that body that didn't make it to the touch-up of the gate. But I was watching the body language of all the players that were at the gate already. You know, they were ready to go, but they were so worried about their player. Body walking off over there on the left for Death's, was that Addicts?
Yeah.
One of the things that I teach in one of the BKI lessons is being prepared in the start gate, right? Eliminating all that nonsense, trimming the fat, getting rid of all that noise. So when your buddy is running out at the 5 seconds, I'm not standing there looking at him with my gun in my hand, not touched up, not focused on whatever, because I can trust in my teammate that he knows what he's supposed to be doing. And it looked like to me those guys were all kind of standing around looking at each other going, oh, where's our next guy? Where's our last guy? Instead of saying, we got 6 dudes. Let's get this, like, what do we know we're all ready? I trust that if, you know, Blake or, I always use the example of A-Rod, who was always running out seemingly in like the under 10 seconds holding his pack. He's like, no, I need 14 pods. I only have 13. Like, dude, get on the field. You know, he's a tremendous player, but always struggled to get to the box before the 10 seconds started, and it kind of takes you out of your game.
It definitely does. That's an incredibly important thing. It did cost the Narcos a body. Another body comes off of the Narcos trying to get into Snake 1, so it is a 6-on-5 situation in favor of Addicts. On the left-hand side of your screen, you can see there the Narcos player, the insert bunker here on the Snake side, that Dorito. But the Narcos are just lined up, hunkered down in their spots. Body language is telling me they're not really looking to make moves right now, right?
No, and I think that a lot of that came down to the fact that they were underprepared for this point, or this game. I know they were rushed onto the field. I believe, is this their first yeah, this is their first game on this field, right? So unless the other Narcos players were giving them some pointers, they kind of came out here into this blind layout. They came out here late, so they didn't even get to stand there and talk and remind each other what they were going to do. So it just kind of seems like they're in their spots playing paintball rather than kind of having that plan initiated.
Both teams losing a body here as Narcos are losing 2. Actually, they lose the player, the insert bunker behind the Snake, and they also lose their back center player. So a couple gunfights won, but looks like Addicts lost a body on that D side as he was trying to attack. They get into Snake 1 currently.
And it looks like it's either a 5-on-1 or a 5-on-2. I can't find the other body. I see a body. Oh, there's, okay. It looks like it's a 5-on-2 right now. Narcos have 2 players, one in the Dorito, one in the lay-down wedge.
Yeah, this is when those deaths come off quick like this. You really got to keep that line of communication going back and forth. The Addicts are up on their feet, though. They are talking it up, trying to figure out where these last couple bodies are, as Narcos Blue able to do a desperation run out to the back corner bunker on the D side. When I went and walked that spot, it's not the greatest spot back there. When you have a lot of guys, it can be fine because you will spread the field out and get some angles from over there, but it's a tough gunfight with your mirror.
Right, that's for sure. But I'll tell you what it is. It is a fortress, right? So
yeah,
I mean,
true.
I'm looking at it, I'm looking at it from our angle, and it looks like you'd have to be on their side of the field, their side of the tall stand-up Snake, to even get a drop a ball in over there. And so if you're trying to cross it up and hide in the back and maybe dink some guys out, that's not a bad spot to be in.
Yeah, I agree with that move out wide to be in that position, but they're not crossing it up right now. The player in the back corner bunker is looking down the sideline over there, and then his teammate is looking towards the Snake side, and rightfully so. There's 3 players on this side of the field.
Yeah, and honestly, he's not going to stop anything from the Snake side. So if they did cross it up, the Snake player would be able to just crawl behind this wedge player. So I kind of like that they're looking outsides because the wedge is so strong, he does need to come and wrap around the Dorito 3 on the Narcos side in order to kill the wedge anyhow. And we saw that earlier with the, actually, was it the Addicts? No. Anyways, it was against the Gummy Bears. I do remember that. So, you know, this wedge is actually not bad looking heads up right here.
Referee's checking out one of the players for Addicts in the Snake. He's in Snake 2, his teammate's right in front of him in Snake 3 at the 50-yard line. They're talking it up, though. I can hear the communication going on. At least, well, the front player's talking it up. Okay, now the communication's going back and forth. They've also got some penetration on that D side as well, too. They're at pretty much the 45-yard line over there, almost at the 50.
Yeah, and it looks like this Narcos player here on this wedge is kind of giving up the dominance. Oh, no, he's still on it. He's battling 3 guys over here. Oh, gets a kill out of this back Dorito. So now it's a 2-on-4.
Oh, if they could pull off a 2-on-5, those are the heroic stories you can tell later. If they can find a way to do it.
Yeah, and basically it needs to come from the snake player, number 20 here in the snake. On the corner of your screen, he needs to crawl down and get behind him. Ooh,
God, another death here for the Addicts. Now a 3-on-2.
But
Much
this
more
Narcos
manageable.
player, I don't know what's happening with him. He kind of has his gun down. Oh, and then there's that kill that we were talking about, right?
Yeah, past the 50-yard line there for Addicts on the D side, able to get that crossfield kill here. So just one player left alive for Narcos Blue in that back corner bunker that we've been talking about. And now they're trying to get the close. Oh, he's going to run, and they trade out. So it's going to be just 2 live bodies out here for Addicts.
And I mean, and that was the perfect opportunity for that Narcos guy to be able to pull it back. Was a run out in the open from the Addicts, ran from the Dorito 3 on their side of the field to try to bunker him behind that W little brick. All he needed to do was come out, shoot him, and stay alive. So it was a great way to save that from the Addicts player who traded him out. But that's a hard shot, running straight at the guy left-handed, shooting him behind that brick. So that was the opportunity.
Huge gap he has to go through, too.
Huge
I mean, that's a massive gap, nothing to hide behind. He was able to get that kill, but that is not the highest percentage play to close out.
Yeah, I wouldn't have done that. If I was in that that Dorito 3, I would put pressure over the top and around the side and tell my guys to get up the field and shoot him in the side.
Yeah, and I would have. Ideally, you would like the snake player to hit the deck. You're gonna hear us say this all day long because of the way that this snake is laid out. But if you're in the snake and no one's in there with you, no opponent is there with you, and there's no one in that back, you really can just hit the deck crawl all the way onto their side, into their snake one.
Oh, yeah.
And even if you just pop the top just for a second and then your opponents now know you're there, now everyone's going to be worried about you.
Yep.
And that's going to allow the rest of your teammates to make moves up the field to help close out. So that's how this field should be played. We've only seen it a few times out here, but lo and behold, it was very, very effective.
Yeah,
So
that's absolutely correct. And and just a little bit tighter in this wedge after this Narcos player had shot 2 of the 3 guys off the snake side. If he had just tightened it up a little bit, kind of like your spidey senses have to be going off at that point, saying, okay, we're down a lot of bodies. I'm in this wedge. I'm overly exposed to the guy over here that I can't see. So what I need to do is I need to suck my ass in a little bit so I can't get shot in case they make it to that Dorito, which is what happened.
yeah, so now Sicarios coming back out to play against pickup team A.
Yeah, we got a player on the Sicarios over there wearing the yeah jersey from yesterday, laced up.
Yeah, what a great battle
That was a fun one to watch. That was definitely fun because they were all going for the slam dunk. They were going for the 3-point plays every single time. Whereas as you kind of saw it at the final match with Tyler and Keith, it was a lot more methodical. A lot of games from the back corner. Tyler winning games out of that cake, which is so difficult to do.
Yeah, super difficult.
I don't even know how to to even explain it better than that.
So I'm just looking out here. I'm just wondering if we're okay. We are no. It looks like they might be, because it says pickup team A and Sicarios on our squad, but that's not who's out here currently.
Well, who is that on the left though?
That's Narcos.
Well, it's a form of some of the Narcos guys, but I don't know if it's the full Narcos team. It could be
pickup
team A because it's got 3 Narcos and 3 or 4 of the other dudes.
Yeah, that could be it.
So
because I see some Sicarios down there, but then those guys are also wearing mixed match jerseys too.
Yeah.
So we're not really sure. We're gonna call the team on the home side. That's gonna be pickup team A, and then
this is the Sicarios, I guess. I don't remember them looking like this, to be honest.
Why?
But anyway, Sicarios taking the snake off the break.
Yeah.
Ooh, Narcos getting shot out of the corner. Both teams losing 1 body off the break. The Sicarios losing 1 out of that wedge that we saw doing so well. But Sicarios also in Snake 1 with nobody on the tape. This is the opportunity this is what you want. This is we need to get Brandon Short out here to really explain this to all the teams. Everybody, he needs to pause the whole tournament, get everybody together, and say, hey, look, just so you know, this is how I would play this thing. If there's nobody on the tape, crawl behind everybody and shoot in the back.
Yeah, move made out wide here for, we believe, Sicarios. Sicarios over here on the right, and yeah, you're right. I've only seen the snake play well twice today.
Yeah. So, so the Sicarios here with 5 bodies against, oh no, it's 5 on 5.
Yeah, 5 on 5. No one, well, there is one body out wide.
No, there's 5 over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
one body out wide here for Sicarios on the right-hand side. No one, and then another body. Yeah, so mirrored up that move out wide, but then that body's going to get shot.
And Sicarios really exploring the center. That's something that I have not really seen, but there's a lot of pressure on that Dorito side, a lot of pressure up the center. Sicarios getting a kill off that pickup team side, Dorito 3 player. So a lot of pressure up this middle, which, like we said, not many people are playing the brick, but both teams have a guy in the brick and another one in the center. Ooh, one for one for the Sicarios.
And looking at that brick, I thought that would be such a big spot, and there are good angles to shut down some lanes over there. And I think that's another spot. Whoever wins this tournament, they're going to be playing the snake more efficiently. Another body coming off. Seeing some bad deaths out here right now. Guys getting shot out of some key spots.
And another thing, and the pickup team losing a body too, so I think it's a 3-on-2 or 3-on-1 right now. I'm not totally sure, but another thing, you know, with divisional players in the center of the field, divisional players are generally drawn to the center of the field more so than any other, well, obviously than the pros. So as you go up in skill level, you're less drawn to the center with multiple bodies is kind of what I'm saying. And that's why you're right. I can't believe there haven't been multiple bodies up there every single game we've watched. Just because of how inviting that brick is, how easy it seems to get there.
And it's a launching pad.
Yep.
You can get into the Aztecs and get past that 50 multiple ways. You can move out to the D side from there. You can shut lanes down.
Yeah.
At least make the snake worry about moving up and kind of have him pump the brakes. But so we'll see. I mean, again, this is a blind layout, and a couple more bodies here have dropped. So it looks like Pick Team A should be able to get this victory here. The question most likely is going to be how many bodies they have left alive. I think they've actually shot everybody right now, so it's going to take some time to figure it out. But a lot of those bodies drop here pretty quick. But anytime that you have a layout that no one has played, it's going to take some time to figure out, even if pros are out here playing it. So,
well, and that's actually. That's a good point, because that the conference events are all going to be blind layouts for the NXL.
Yeah, which I really like that. I like the fact that it adds that element in. You have to be able to know how to walk fields and figure things out. You don't have the luxury of just running 25 points every time you go out for two days in a row, run 50 points in a weekend. And again, please head on over to GoSports.com. The only way we can bring you the highest quality paintball content possible is through your support. So please create an account, subscribe. We're going to be having, we got the Ultimate Shootout, some more episodes coming out here pretty soon, the 22nd. Going to be dropping the semifinals, bringing you the Pro Tour this weekend. Here, the 7-man battles, as HK brought the 7-man back. Love seeing that. And we've had a good day of paintball out here so far. It is a perfect paintball weather day, cloudy skies, not hot here at ASG Paintball Park.
It was toasty yesterday. That's for sure.
Yeah, especially in the afternoon. It was supposed to heat up today, too. It was supposed to be like 89 later on this afternoon.
It may still. This might burn off, around, not till about 3 or 4 p.m. But we'll still be here, that's for sure.
Yeah, still going to be playing paintball at that time.
Looks like it's going to be in the 90s tomorrow, so this will burn off for sure. And I do like that. I wonder, though, when the NXL will release it on the day, because I know we've done a blind layout before. I forget when it was, but it was basically as soon as a field down the road had it, they had set it up for practice. So I don't know if they're going to have practice slots available still. But if it is held at, depending on how big the parks are.
Yeah, that's the big question right now.